Welcome back, my friends, to another 10 in 10 episode, where we do 10 survival tips in 10 minutes. Let's go! A waterproof map case serves a pretty simple purpose. It keeps your map from getting wet, something you definitely don't want to happen when out in the wilderness. However, if you find yourself in a bit of a pickle, there are a number of ways you can use this to help. Map cases are usually made from clear plastic, so you can read the map easily. This clear plastic can be used to extract water from plants or grass. Here's a quick demo. I've opened the map case and placed it on some grass that was damp from the rain on the previous night. In less than a minute, you can see that the moisture in the grass has evaporated and is beginning to condensate on the inside of the map case. Now, it might not be much, but if you leave it there for long enough, you can collect vital water that you might need if you are dehydrated. But what if the ground was dry and you don't have any grass near you? The leaves on a tree will hold moisture in them even on the hottest of days. Just tighten up the map case around the leaves and you will begin to see water droplets on the inside. After a few hours, this can build to quite a good amount if there has been recent rain. It's important to note that this works best in bright sunlight on a warm day. Cling film, the stuff that clings to anything and everything. If you find some lying around, you can apply the same principle that was used with the map case. As it's clear plastic, lay it out over some grass or damp bushes, pin it down with a few stones, and watch the evaporation and condensation process begin. Personally, I'm not a fan of the stuff, but if you find yourself in a tight pinch, it might just help you out to get that high quality H2O. The limpet, Patella vulgata, a marine mollusk that is commonly found on coastlines around Europe. They are an edible aquatic snail that live off algae on the rocks. The shell of a limpet is fairly thick and tough, with a smooth interior. This can be used as a bearing block when making a bow drill fire. However, with one shell on its own, it can warm up and often get too hot in your hand. So, usually using two shells, one on top of the other, is best. But here, I use a scale from a tarpon which I caught in the Florida Keys with my dad. We released the fish, but it left plenty of scales in the boat. When dried, they curl up. This one fits the palm of my hand well. Together with the limpet shell, these work great on creating a fire using the bow drill method, and the durability of the limpet shell means I almost never need to change it if it burns through like other natural materials do. When filling up a water bottle from a shallow river, if you put the bottle too low in the water, you'll often pick up lots of debris from the riverbed. This can mean that it will take longer to filter, and you might clog the filter that you are using. I find that facing the bottle downstream and slowly dipping it under the surface results in much less debris getting into the bottle, giving you cleaner water straight from the off. It will still need to be boiled to purify it, but it makes the filtering process much easier. You can clearly see the difference in the two water collections. Both times the water was collected from the exact same area. The bottle on the left was collected near the riverbed, and the bottle on the right was collected nearer the surface. Beware that on lakes or any standing water, you can often get surface algae, so this method may not be best for them. The sun. The closest star to our planet. Feel the warmth of it beating down on you as you sip a pina colada on the beach, watching the waves roll in on the sand. Oi! Stop daydreaming and pay attention in class. As well as kill you, the sun can also help you in a survival situation. Navigation by solar is real and it works. If you need to find your cardinal directions on the fly and you happen to be wearing an analog watch, point the hour hand towards the sun. The halfway point between the hour hand and the 12 o'clock mark indicates south. From here, you can get an idea of the other cardinal bearings. Note that this method applies to the northern hemisphere only. I always carry a small piece of wire wool in my pack to clean any dirty pots and pans after cooking with them. But if you find yourself in a tight pinch, you can use any latent batteries that you might have on you to create fire. You can either use two AA batteries, or if you have a 9-volt battery, this will work better. The battery's charged up electrons move rapidly through the wool, which act as a conductor. This then creates a lot of heat and can produce small sparks or hot glowing pieces of metal. If you have tinder nearby, you can pass on these sparks to the tinder material and get a fire going. This is not the safest method to light a fire, and definitely keep your hands away from the battery contact points when doing it. Rubus fruticosus, the blackberry. Arguably the tastiest wild edible around. Easy to identify with its serrated, short-stalked oval leaflets. The leaves are dark on top and pale underneath. Clusters of white or pink flowers appear from late spring to early summer. You can eat blackberries raw, straight from the plant. They are packed full of vitamin C, and it has been used in traditional medicine for its healing and detoxifying properties. The fibres from its stems also has been used to make string or cordage. However, arguably one of the best plants to make cordage is the nettle. There are two common forms of nettle here in the UK, Urtica dioica and Urtica urens. Nettles have been used as a herbal medicine for thousands of years. They are very high in vitamins and minerals, but it is also the stems which can be processed down and used to make a tough, natural string or cordage. First, pick the nettle low down at the stem. You can wear gloves for this part if you don't want to grasp the nettle, as they say. Then remove any small leaves from the intersections of the stem. Then, using a knife or your thumb, prise open the pith of the nettle. You can then peel back the outer strands of the stem, and this is what is used for the cordage. Begin to twist one of the strands between your fingers, and once twisted enough, you can bring your fingers together and it will naturally want to rotate on itself. This is the start of your cord. Now continue to roll it between your fingers, and you can either pull it tight and back on itself after each roll to ensure it's kept tight, or you can simply begin to roll it on the top of your knee. As the nettle stem naturally tapers, it will begin to get thin. From here you can cut off the woody part of the stem and begin to splice in another piece to extend your cord. Eventually, if you collect enough number of stems, you will begin to form natural nettle cordage, which, when dry, will be very strong. It also means that you aren't leaving any synthetic material in nature. If it's a sunny day, you don't have an analog watch, and you need to find north, you can create an improvised sundial. Place a stick in the ground and put a stone or rock at the tip of the shadow that is cast by the stick. For this example, I just used a piece of the wire wool that I had on hand. I recommend using something that won't blow away in the wind though. After 15 minutes, the sun will have moved slightly more around the sky, and so will the shadow that the stick creates. Place a second rock at the end of the new shadow. Now draw a line between the two rocks, and then another perpendicular to the first. The end of this perpendicular line that is furthest from the stick indicates north. If you found that video footage hard to see like I did, here is a diagram showing the stick casting the shadow, and then 15 minutes later that shadow has moved, with a line drawn between both stones and then a line running straight or perpendicular off those stones pointing towards the north. If the forecast is favourable, and you know you can get your map out of its waterproof case, you can also use it to collect water from a river or lake. Map cases can actually hold a few litres of water. Some have totally sealable openings, which will help to prevent water getting in. But this can also benefit in stopping water getting out if you were to collect it and carry it with you from one place to the next. The clear plastic sides also allow you to see how much dirt and mud might be in your water and give you a good idea of how much you will need to filter it. And that's it for this week, folks. Another 10 survival tips in 10 minutes. Be sure to check out the description box for links to the other survival tips videos, as well as check out our other YouTube channel, TA Fishing. It's been a pleasure, folks. Catch you in the next one.